Okay, you ready? Here we go. There it is. I know, looks like crap, but you gotta understand it's been sitting for 5 years. So this is a 1987 Maserati Biturbo SI. Alright, so first off, it needs a whole new paint job and body work and all that stuff. It's got rust spots, it's got dings. The serious rust is here. It's got some rust pinholes here. And here, bottom of the windshield. We tried to fix this way back, but I think we have to remove the windshield to get to it. And this is the other spot. Other than that, there really isn't any other rust on the vehicle. So again, this was my daily driver when I was in my 20s, early 20s, and it was pretty reliable, believe it or not. But then, you know, once I got married, had to pay rent and all that other stuff, you know, this just wasn't a reliable enough car for me, so it kind of sat for 3 years. And that's when the problem started, you know, electrical gremlins and things like that. But let me walk you through the car and tell you a little bit about what I had done to it and how I finally got it to run and what I need to do next. Okay, so first let me show you what's unique about this car from other Biturbos and where it's been. So this is the engine. It's a 2.5 liter V6, 90-degree V6 twin turbo. This was the first car, production car, to have twin turbo. In 1981 was the first one, which was carbureted. This is the 87, which has fuel injection. Now you can see here this car has a distributor, which is missing. That's because I've converted it to run off a Haltech unit. Well, I haven't. I paid to have it done, beyond my pay grade. And it has a coil for each plug, so no more distributor. We used to have 2 computers, one to control the ignition, one to control the fuel injection. Now it has one small Haltech unit that does everything. I'm going to remove this and plug it off, so that's going to be one of the first things on the list. Other thing on the list is to clean up this rat's nest of wires for these 7 relays. I'll get into these later, but these relays are unique to Maserati. You can't put a regular Bosch type relay here. That's how a lot of people screw up these cars. They look like a regular relay, but they're different. They're wired different. The battery has been relocated to the trunk. The air box is gone. It usually sits behind there. I still have it. I'm debating whether to reinstall it or just update these cone filters. The crankcase vents, that one's okay. This one's damaged. I gotta replace it. I might install a catch can too. I don't know. I gotta think about that. It's a lot of things to do. The wiper motors are moving very slow, so I have to look into that. Power windows move very slow, so I gotta look into that. The interior on these cars was beautiful when they came out, but the materials they use are not withstanding the test of time. This was like a suede material or Alcantara, but it's you can see it's ripping and faded away. Just on the driver's seat. The other ones are, all the other seats are in good shape. Just the driver's seat bolster, really, that has damage. Get inside. This one has an aftermarket Momo wood steering wheel. The interior, this interior is, the wood is, it came with a wood veneer, but this one was modified to an 89 wood veneer, so you could see it's kind of like curved. Kind of see it has like a subtle curve to it. The back still has the original wood veneer. You could see it's more of a flat wood veneer. It's a piece of aluminum with a very thin wood veneer on it, and you can see the discoloration, the tan materials turning green. It's basically disintegrating. It's some sort of a faux leather that just hasn't dealt very well with time. And I think it's the UV light. See here? Just green spots, and those green spots are very brittle. The whole headliner is Alcantara. You know, when these cars came out, there was no other car that could compete with it on the interior. I mean, not even Mercedes. These things were really, really well done. I have some extra gauges. I have a boost gauge, and this is my air-fuel ratio gauge, which I put in a while back. It's another thing that's broken. This here is supposed to hold the this metal bar here, so that when you open the door, it doesn't hyperextend. This was a failure point even when they were new, so I do have a kit to repair that. You have to go in through the speaker hole over here to repair it. But that's one of the first things I want to fix. And the other thing is the ignition. I have to replace the ignition switch. This one, once the car started, you could remove the key and the engine will keep running. So it's faulty, not in the sense that it won't start the car, it won't stop the car, which is kind of ironic, but that's the issue I'm having. That's probably going to be one of the very first things I'm going to do to fix the car. And you could see I have a lot of work to do as far as cleaning up. There's the Haltech unit sitting on the driver's, the passenger footwell. I need to button it up. The original ECU sat over here. I gotta find a way to tuck all that wiring in. And then I have this big module, which I don't even know what's in there. I'm assuming it's some relays or some fuses. I gotta clean that up. And it's just filthy, you know. It's got dirt and crap everywhere. So needs a lot of TLC for sure. But I'm gonna start it and you can see how it runs. The car does not have a cat right now. I'm debating whether to put it back. I might. So let's just start it so you can hear it. Sure it's neutral. Oh, and this car has a dog leg reverse. You could see first gear, second gear, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse is up and to the left. It's very cool. Make sure that's in neutral. Battery's a little weak. RPM gauge, it was never really accurate. I have to take off this center pin, the instrument cluster, and resolder some of the joints. Even from new they had issues. And you can see it says it has 45,000 original miles. I'm sure that's not true. These things are notorious for having the odometers not work. I think mine is working though. Let's go look at the engine. Obviously, gotta get rid of that. That's a dangerous thing to catch in your clothes. This is all original. You might say, wow, what a cool interior with all the red stuff. This is all original, except the cam covers were painted red. They used to be black. The belt cover was black. I painted it red. And these silicone hoses are not original. But all these chrome pipes, they're all original. I used to have more chrome that I removed to go through the air filter. I do have an additional oil cooler for the power steering. Power steering is notorious for going bad by overheating. It's got twin intercoolers, air to air. And I have under here, I have an oil cooler which I also put in, not original to the car. Alright, I'm going to turn it off so you can hear me better. I'm going to see if it has the problem. I'm going to turn so that's good. Usually it keeps running. So let's do another walk around. All right, so just want to show you the wheels. I don't have the center caps on there, but these are Compomotive Motorsports wheels. They're period correct aftermarket wheels. Right now I have Toyo tires on here. These are Toyo Proxus R1Rs actually. Very grippy tires. These cars originally came with 14-inch rims, so or wheels. So these are 16. I think they're 16 by 8 in the rear and 16 by 7 in the front. And rear tires are 225s, and the fronts are 215s, I think, or not, actually 205s. 205s. Brakes are all stock. Center caps are missing, but these wheels are fully restored a year ago, but I need to refurbish them a little bit, just clean them up. The whole car needs to be cleaned up. The bumper's not fully mounted on, so I need to do that. You can see it's not even lined up here. The vents were put in out afterwards. These cars don't have hood vents. They create a lot of heat under the hood because of the turbos, so that's something I'm gonna obviously fix. The paint. This paint is completely destroyed. And the headlights were modified as well. And the grill is not on there, so that's also going to be something we're going to be doing. Show you here in my garage, hanging over there. That's the original grill and the original headlight surrounds. So you can see I had rectangular headlights from the factory, and I'm going to show you what I have planned for it. I made these few years ago. Never really finished it. This was just a mock-up. Put some tape on here to show you what this looks like. But I converted the headlights to Hella lights. Those are xenon, I believe. And let me close the hood so you get the full effect. Just modernizes the whole look. Looks more like a racing, not exactly. Maserati Racing is a later model. Probably the last version of the Biturbo before they went to the Ghibli. If you're not familiar with Maserati, you won't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm gonna use a Ghibli style grill. Alright guys, just a couple more things. This car has a Irabuni body kit. It's a very rare body kit. I'll go back in the garage and show you what the original bumpers look like, but it's got this side skirt, which the original car doesn't have a side skirt, and then the bumpers have this deeper air dam and additional air inlets and spot holes for the fog lights, which currently I'm not running. And the rear has this rear bumper with dual exhaust outlets. That's not original. The original only had it on one side, and this wing actually is original to the car, but it was not common on all Biturbos. This came with the Biturbo SI and some special models. So the SI, S stands for the sport model, and the I stood for injection, fuel injection. And you can see the badges are all gunmetal gray. The windshield and the window surrounds on the sides, they're all gunmetal gray. On the original Biturbos, on the regular Biturbos, it was just chrome. And also the mirrors are from a later car. I think these are off a 430, which is a four-door version of it's like an 89 1990 car. The earlier cars look more like a Vitelloni, like 80s Ferrari style. So here in my garage I have the original bumpers. This red, by the way, it's called Maserati red. When I repaint the car, I want to paint it this color. This is the underside. It's got this you could see it's a very shark-like bumper, and the rear is also very short overhangs. It's got a little air dam. I actually removed this because Well, I shouldn't say that. I removed it because I wanted to get the body kit, but now I can't even fit this because I have an oil cooler here, which will not fit with this bumper unless I cut into it. And these are in such good shape that I really don't want to mess with them. Alright guys, so that's it for this video. It was just a quick introduction to the car. I'm very excited to have it back, man. I've been dreaming about all the things I want to do to this car because, you know, I love 80s cars. I love how simple they were, how analog they were, and 80s cars are all the rage now, 80s and 90s. And you just don't see any of these because they were very problematic, especially the early ones that ran on carbs, and they all just rusted away, just like pretty much every Italian car that was sold in the US. But now that I got it running perfectly with this aftermarket computer system, engine management system, I can't wait to fix all the other little things. And I'm not going to restore it 100%. As you can see, I'm going to modify a lot of things. This is going to be a resto mod on the budget. So again, first thing is to fix what's wrong with the car, get that corrected, and then we could maybe, you know, later on get it painted, get it things. The headlight surrounds, I'm thinking of maybe making them out of carbon fiber as opposed to just plastic like the ones you saw. So really looking forward to this project and looking forward to sharing it with you guys on this channel. So stay tuned for more videos to come, and hopefully we'll have another one for you soon. Thanks for watching.